It's time to learn important stuff about the Dirty Martini, including how to make one. Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm Derrick Schommer. What is so special about the Dirty Martini? Where did it come from? How do you make one? Let's figure it out. First, the required ingredients. What you're gonna need is either a gin or a vodka. We're gonna use a gin. You're gonna need dry vermouth, some olive juice. For this, we're using ancient olive trees olive juice, probably something to measure it in, some olives, a mixing glass, and of course, you're probably gonna want to put it in a drinking vessel. A dirty martini is dirty because of the olive brine. For this, we've partnered with a fantastic California-based olive orchard, olive oil, and olive juice company, Ancient Olive Trees. 12.6 fluid ounces, 375 ml. You're gonna be able to make yourself some dirty martinis. One of the cool things about Ancient Olive Trees is it's your tree-to-table solution. Great cocktails are made with great ingredients. Imagine taking your beautiful olive juice, aging it in some nice barrels, created with California-based olives, and filtered 3 times to make it fresh and crisp. Of course, James Bond is often miscredited with the creation of the Dirty Martini. Not true. Since James Bond is a fictitious figure, it's very hard for imaginary characters to invent something. However, Ian Fleming did have a part in the martini craze. Ian Fleming's 1953 book, Casino Royale, features James Bond drinking a specific martini that looks like it could almost be dirty. But it's not a dirty martini, it's a Vesper. Comb through your history books. What you're going to find is no single one person has been able to rightfully claim the name Martini for this drink. Alessandro Martini, the director of Martini and Rossi Vermouth, has staked claims, or at least somebody in the history has staked claims saying that's why it's called a martini. Only within a 3-year margin of error within that, the Martinez cocktail was developed. Right in San Francisco. You should check out San Francisco, it's a pretty nice place. The Martinez may have been the predecessor to the Martini. Outside of a dry and a wet martini, using more or less dry vermouth, ironically, a wet martini uses more vermouth. Outside of that, there are 3 different martinis you may encounter when you order at a bar. The Gibson. The Gibson is a martini made with cocktail onions instead of olives. Outside of that, it's pretty much the same thing. Although if you've ever had a very bad Gibson, it tastes more like Subway sandwiches. The Vesper. Obviously, Casino Royale, James Bond, Vesper. And the Dirty Martini. Take a martini, add some olive brine, and it's now dirty. So here's how we're gonna make our Dirty Martini. 2.5 ounces of gin. I'm not using vodka because I don't really think vodka has the same soul as a good gin. A 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth, olive brine to taste. Tricky. I'm going to go with a bar spoon. And 1 olive to garnish. You can use 3 olives if you're into that lucky number. Stir and strain, pour it into your glass, you're ready to drink. Let's do this. Let's do our gin. 2.5. We're using clear ice in this drink. You can hit the link below if you'd like to know a little bit more about clear ice. A 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. Let's do 1 bar spoon or teaspoon of Ancient Olive Trees olive juice. And if you want to know more about Ancient Olive Trees, what you need to do right now, just go to the description of this video, click the link, it'll send you right over so you can read a little bit more about Ancient Olive Trees and their olive juice. They also have a nice olive oil that I'm looking at, so I might have to revisit that. Now we're going to stir for about 25-30 seconds. If you don't keep your glasses in the freezer because you just don't have as much space, especially with me, I've got my frozen pizzas in there. I don't have room for glasses. Chill your glass. Throw some water, throw some ice in your glass, and get it cold so the heat of the glass doesn't get chilled first, leaving you with a warm, dirty martini. Oh, look at that sexiness. Add your olive, stuffed or unstuffed. It actually still has a pretty good clarity to it. Let's just see how it tastes, and then we'll figure out if it has enough brine or if we should add more. I think that's just the right amount of brine. Remember, great quality cocktails are made with great ingredients. We're looking at a drink that has very few ingredients. It's very delicate. It's really easy to throw off a balance of a very delicate cocktail. Gary Regan once said in his book, Joy of Mixology, you can find him saying it in this book, this is probably one of the worst drinks if made incorrectly. But when prepared with not too much olive brine being used, it can become a sterling potion. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's kind of how the quote goes. It brings in a little bit of that London dry kick. The vermouth does bring a little bit of that fortified wine flavor, keeping that whole idea of the martini in place. Yet that saltiness actually helps draw in some sweet, and there's a reason for that. If you're using just the olive brine that comes in a vessel, the jar with your olives in it, you're making a mistake. This was not designed with intention. The ancient olive trees folks designed this with the intention of a dirty martini. You're getting the best, the crispest, the ultimate product to elevate your cocktail. This water is made to fill the package of olives. This is made for actual dirty martinis. And the salt, if you add salt to things such as Campari, any type of bitter product, it actually diminishes the bitter, diminishes the tart, and it allows other flavors, usually a sweeter flavor, to come through. So the brine isn't here just to give it a color. It's not here just because there's an olive in here. That saltiness changes the flavor profile of the drink and amplifies it. It builds up a completely different recipe from a standard martini just by having that brine. The slim design to this gives it an easy pour without the juice coming out way too aggressively, like this stupid bottle. You do definitely want to refrigerate it after you open this. It's nice and thin, so it's going to squeeze in right between my milk, my orange juice, and my chocolate milk. My kids drink chocolate milk. It's not me, I swear. Okay, I love chocolate milk. Now, if you use the recipe that I've used here, which is one I might have borrowed from Gary Regan, you're going to be able to create the perfect craft cocktail dirty martini in the comfort of your own home. And you don't even have to tip yourself. Although I do like to tell myself how awesome I am. If you're going to head over to ancientolivetrees.com, hit the link below. That way they know that I sent you. And let's face it, if you love me and my crazy personality, you want everybody to know. Listen, you don't even have to be the biggest dirty martini fan on the planet. If you have a friend that really likes dirty martinis, for instance, in my case, my cousin Doug, buy them a bottle of this olive brine, ship it to them. You're going to change their life. At least their social life. And that's all that really matters. There's nothing better than taking somebody who's massively enthusiastic about a drink, who has spent the last 10 to 15 years constantly ordering the drink, and then to send them a product that they've never heard of before, that blows their mind. It's gonna make you the hero. And not like that Heroes reboot they try to put out on TV. That was just bad. So take some responsibility in making a better craft cocktail. You like this video? Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to this video, and don't forget to click one of the links over there for an uber awesome, fantastic, radical cocktail experience. Take the path down creating the next great cocktail for you, your friends, and your family. We're teaching you how to drink dirty style.